Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so we will go ahead and call to order the work session of the East Grand Forks City Council for Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Would the city clerk please call roll?
Mayor Mark Olstead.
Here.
Council President Brian Larson.
Here.
Council President Tim Riopel.
Here.
Council members Tammy Schumacher.
Here.
Ben Pukshavinsky.
Here.
Dale Helms.
Here.
Donald Caseme.
Here.
Karen Peterson.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Let's move into our agenda here. Our first item is Facility Improvement Project Bid Package Number 2 Bid Review. We have Jeremy King from Parks and Rec and Tom McDonald from Construction Engineers.
Thank you, Council President, City Council, and Mayor. Bid Package 2 for the Facility Improvements Project closed on March 26th. We received a total of 47 bids for the Civic Center project and 54 bids for the VFW project. Overall, those results were positive. Construction engineer since then has reviewed and qualified all the bids. And we feel that we are prepared to move forward to the next phase. This has all been reviewed by the steering committee. And hopefully everyone agrees that we'd like to move forward with the prepared plan. And with that, I'll hand it over to Tom McDonald from Construction Engineers.
Hi, thanks. Thank you for taking time today. Again, just to kind of reiterate a little bit, we had a public bid opening on the 26th of March. Between the two projects, there were 33 different contract categories. So what we do is we take each project, kind of define what the scopes are to make sure that everybody, all the bidders are apples to apples. Like Jeremy said, when you include material supply items, we had approximately 100 total bids between the two. We've reviewed everything with the design team, the steering committee. Numbers did come in a little better than what were expected. As a result of that, the original plan with the VFW was to do a mill and overlay of the parking lot. But because of the way the numbers came in, we were able to do an alternate to add a brand new parking lot, full rebuild of the parking lot, so not just a Band-Aid type fix type scenario. So of the two books I gave you, one's for the Civic, one's for the VFW. And the VFW one, if you go back about page 13, you'll see kind of the proposed parking lot that we're looking at that point. So we're able to add that in, along with carrying a contractor contingency and owner contingency, a couple allowances for some miscellaneous things such as painting, door repair, things along that lines as we progress and still maintain the overall budget. In the bid books, when as you're flipping through, we got the overall costs, we have our project schedules, we have a site logistic plan, kind of how we're setting up the site, the overall scope summary, the final estimates, our bid tabulations, which shows all the bidders that we received, along with our bid analysis form that we utilize, the drawing log, and then the actual contract categories themselves, so you can see what each individual scopes were. So it was a successful bid throughout, and yeah, if there are any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Any questions for Tom related to the bid results on the VFW Memorial Arena? I took a look at the parking lot layout there, Tom. That looks really, really exciting. I appreciate the separated pickup and drop-off loop in the parking area. I think that'll improve safety in that lot quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't take the credit, obviously. Yeah, that'd be the design team. Yeah, the guy behind you and the gal behind me, type of thing.
Looks good.
Okay, Tom, that included the storm sewer improvements too, right now?
Correct. Yes. Yep.
Okay. If there isn't any questions on the VFW bid results, Tom, if you'll walk us through the Civic Center.
Yeah, the Civic Center, pretty much kind of the same story. I guess when I recapped everything, it was kind of in total compilation of everything. Again, that one there, we really didn't accept any big alternates. Every time we put one of these together, we always have some additive alternates and some deductive alternates, just in case numbers come one way or the other. Same scenario there in the book. You get the overall costs, project schedules, the site logistics plan, things along that line. So that one, the parking lot to the west, we are replacing about 2/3 of it. The other third will basically be green space. In that aspect, we are redoing the ADA parking at the front, along with some sidewalks on the front of there as well. And then inside is pretty much the some mechanical electrical upgrades and some ADA upgrades.
Okay, any questions from the council for Jeremy or Tom McDonald? Okay, it's easy when it's good news, right, guys?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Jeremy, if you'll stick around, we'll go to item number 2 then. That's a request to accept a donation from Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's Outdoor Fund.
Thank you again. Over the last 3 years, our local Bass Pro Shop has supported the LPHE Park project through their in-store roundup program. They have continued that program this year. Last year, they did a significant donation of $15,000 to help kind of cap off the LPHE Park project. And this year, through the roundup program, they are generously willing to donate another $3,500 to that project. With these latest contributions, that brings the total to $25,000 that they've donated down to the LPHE Park boat ramp project. There will be signs on the solar lights down there to recognize this for Bass Pro, and these dollars will be used to help finish up some beautification items that are going down there. Recommendation would be to accept the donation of $3,500 from Bass Pro.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. Any questions for Mr. King regarding the gift from Bass Pro Shops? Okay, I see none.
All right, thank you.
Okay, let's go to item number 3 then. Add purchase of a bus to the 2027-2030 TIP and STIP and write a grant for the funding. Ms. Ellis.
Hi. Thanks, everyone. We had a bus totaled in September of last year. It met its useful life from our transit asset management plan, which is 7 years, 150,000 miles. We totaled it out and waiting to see if we could purchase a new bus or not, or where the insurance proceeds go to. Based on that TAM plan, we do need a replacement. So we currently have 3 buses and a spare. We have a new bus coming tomorrow. And then if we order this one will be our spare bus. Upon discussion today with my urban transit manager, with the replacement of this bus and then the new bus coming, it might be worth our while to look into doing a test run of microtransit next year with this new bus. So we're going to work with our federal partners and MnDOT to maybe make that happen next year. So we'll be discussing that more in the next month. But what we need today is to, I'm asking you to request that we, it would be amend currently the 2026 through 2029, but add it to the 2027-2030 TIP. It's a little confusing, but we need to get that bus added into there so that we can then write the grant. Also, have been informed, and I should have more information at the meeting next Tuesday. Estimates of the bus from the MnDOT procurement contract is $375,000 for this type of bus, which is a Class 400 low floor. So low floor means you can get a wheelchair in and out, and it holds about 17 to 18 people. In speaking with the manufacturer and the people that we purchased the bus from, he figures that the 375 is really high of an estimate. So he would consider maybe more in that 275 to 300 range. So we will be lowering the cost of that. And then the second thing is based on the last purchase, the purchase of the bus that this one would be replacing, it was an 85-15 split, not an 80-20. So that would also further drop down the local share. So I'm just kind of waiting to hear from FTA where the insurance proceeds will go towards, if it's a formula where a portion will go to the Fed amount and a portion will go to the local amount, or how that will work, and which percentage we're going to be using. So all of that hopefully will be decided by next Tuesday. And then when I come back in May or June with the follow-up for my 2027 operating, then we'll discuss these buses more and how we're going to do our operating for the city of East Grand Forks next year. So it's a lot of information, but I think I hopefully covered everything that was in the RCA.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. And the information, the formal action that the council needs to take is to recommend the MPO to amend our transportation plan to include the purchase of this new bus.
Of this bus, yep,
Okay.
in the year 2027,
Okay.
which means I can't write the grant until 2027. Well, let me rephrase that. I can write the grant, but I cannot start the purchasing process until 2027, which in federal year is September. End of September, beginning of October this year.
Okay.
So
And if it's not in the plan,
then I can't.
no action can be taken.
I can't write a grant until it's amended into the STIP. So
Very good. Okay. Any questions for Nancy on the request to amend the plan? Go ahead, Dale.
I have to make this one comment. I wish I could afford to buy a brand new bus like that and have a set for a spare. I'd be smiling. But I thought that this mass transit thing that you were going to do, I thought you were going to get a bunch of vans
well,
or
so-
something like that to use, and now you're talking about taking this bus and using that to.
Well, that is the interesting thing is that also when I spoke to the gentleman from North Central, the bus that we typically use, which is that R-Buck people mover bus, it's got a Chevy chassis, which they're no longer going to be making. So it'll go to a Ford chassis, which can no longer deal with the heavy-duty like bus type of trips that we would be taking. So we'll probably be looking at a smaller bus that's still a Class 400. So it'll look similar, but it'll be a little bit smaller. As far as vans go, vans are hard to purchase because they're not on our current MnDOT procurement contract. So I would have to go out and procure a contract with vans, and it's just not something that I myself is, equipped to do. So the vans that we typically have come from the North Dakota side. On the Minnesota side, we would be using smaller buses. So
what you're saying is this new policy or this new system you want to put into place is going to be more costly now than what you originally talked then, probably, huh?
no, it wouldn't be any costlier. It's because we estimated to use buses for the microtransit in the first place.
Yeah, I think initially maybe they talked vans, but towards the end.
Yep, we switched to buses.
Buses. When you were finalizing.
Yep. If you look at the microtransit study, it shows it as buses. I would need to have 2 buses. We'd start with 1 and then work our way up to 2 buses. So, and not the large Class 700s, but the Class 400s. So maybe drop down to like a New England Wheels type of a bus, which is kind of in between. The one thing that we are looking at is the buses that we do purchase, like this new one, because we're not going with the Ford chassis and we're probably going to drop down to something smaller, then we wouldn't need a CDL license in order for them to drive it. So that would be helpful in itself.
Okay. Any further questions? Mr. Riopel.
Did you say that the insurance might be able to be applied towards our portion of the,
That's what I'm hoping.
figuring it out, if it's a $275,000 vehicle and we get the 85-15 split, it's only going to cost us $5,000-$6,000 extra over and above that,
Yep.
which is pretty nice.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments for Nancy? Okay. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to item number 4. Request approval of registration application for Low Potency Hemp Edible retailer. We have Valley Markets, Inc., Hugo's Wine and Spirits, and then here just recently we're going to add Mellow Moods to this discussion as well. Maybe I'll start with you on this one, Reid.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. President, council members. We do have a application received from both Hugo's Wines and Spirits and from Mellow Moods for the low potency hemp edible retail locations. As of this afternoon, our fire department and building inspector finished the inspection at Mellow Moods, so they are complete in their review of application, as well as Hugo Wine and Spirits. This would just move forward to next week's council meeting, consideration of approval of those two registrations. They've completed all the necessary steps from the state and the local ordinance to be compliant with that. And once these are done, then that will leave the last one that's kind of outstanding that currently has product on their shelves is Orton's convenience store. We last week received notice from the Office of Cannabis Management that they are licensed now. They just will now have to start the process of completing their registration application and going through our compliance checks. So that'll be coming fairly quickly, I would assume.
Okay, thank you, Reid. Any questions for Reid on the two low potency hemp edible retailer licenses? Okay, I see none. We'll move on to item number 5 then. Request to advertise for the Parks and Recreation Superintendent opening. Mr. Huttunen.
All right, thank you again, Mr. President, council members, mayor. I did hand out, before the meeting started, just a paper handout kind of walking through the position description for the Park and Rec Superintendent, some kind of a summary of the duties, and took a first stab at looking at the timeline for advertisement and ultimately for hiring of the position. Assuming we get council approval to move forward at our meeting next week, we'd be able to start advertising the following day, that Wednesday, April 22nd, and plan to have a 4 or 5 week advertisement period. I've got this kind of scheduled out for 5 weeks, closing on Sunday, May 31st. From that point forward, as you look at the first page, the rest of that, I think I've probably scheduled that out as best case scenario, fastest as possible, knowing that there are a lot of dynamics with receipt of applications, the civil service process, which I'll touch on a little. This is the civil service rules require from the date that applications close and prior to scheduling an interview with civil service, it requires 10 days notice to post the public meeting. And the public meeting being the civil service board coming together to do the interviews. So I scheduled June 10th as the first available date that we'd be able to interview, assuming we'd close applications on May 31st. If there were more than, say, 10 to 12 qualified applicants for the position, it would push that interview date back even further. Typically what we do if we get more than 10 to 12 applicants, which is about the max that civil service can really interview in a day or in a period of time, we would use a test, like an aptitude test, to help kind of siphon out a first round vetting process on applicants. We did that with the library position. We had about 19 original applicants with that, and then based on their paper qualifications, the minimum requirements for education and experience, and then the results of this aptitude test, that helped us bring it down to, we initially offered interviews to 12, and then we had 3 back out. We had 9 left that the civil service actually interviewed. So that could be a similar situation here if we have a good success and get a lot of applicants. And I say all that just to explain the process, 1, and 2, just to understand that the start date this is about as fast as you could possibly have it. If there's a lot of applicants, it requires a test before a civil service interview round. It's just going to push those dates further down the line. Again, to reiterate, civil service, their role in this is they're kind of the first confidential oversight of the interview process. When people apply for a job in the city, the only city staff that sees the list of applicants initially is the Human Resources Generalist, Terry Knudsen. She receives those. She scores all of them based on set criteria, again, built off these job descriptions and what the requirements for education and experience are. And then she works with civil service to, if needed, administer that test and bring the applicant list down to 10 or 12 qualified applicants. Civil service interviews those, and still at that point, those 10 or 12 applicants are confidential to the rest of the city staff. Terry Knudsen, our HR, again, is the only person that sees those. The first time that those candidates and their qualifications become public is at the point they become finalists. Usually civil service will pass 3 or 4 finalists on to either department staff or however the city council would like to be involved in this process, and in the city council's involvement at that time would become when the rest of city staff would start to see or understand who those candidates are. So that's an open question for you as we talk through this and talk through the timeline. Is civil service would do the first round vetting of applicants and pass on finalists. And then when we get to final interviews, any input from you all, whether that comes tonight or you want to all think about it and we have a future discussion as we walk through this process, any involvement you'd like to have in interviewing the next Park and Rec superintendent, I would certainly be happy to take that feedback from you. As you know, with the library director, we've done it a little different for everyone. I think in history, in this position, the Park and Rec superintendent, the city council has been fairly involved. When I was hired for the position, there was no Park and Rec commission, so they weren't available to be used as a second interview or have a role in it. So I interviewed directly with the city council. When we hired Mr. King, it was the same. The Park and Rec Commission existed, but the council opted to work directly through the final interview process. So open for that feedback. The rest of this handout just starts to look through what the essential functions of the job are and kind of tried to separate the summary of duties of the job sort of into buckets, all the different areas that this role touches across our city. The Park and Rec Department, the Senior Center, the Resurrection Cemetery, Greenway Trails, you name it. So just wanted to walk through that and take any questions you may have.
All right, thank you, Reid. Let's go around the room. We'll start with Ben.
Thank you. Reid, did we use a consultant on this last time?
We did not use a consultant the last time. Okay. No. If there is interest in that, I did reach out to a consultant. The last time the city hired a consultant was for the city administrator opening. We didn't even consider it for the Park and Rec superintendent a few years ago. We did when we hired the economic development director. We considered it. We ended up not using it. We administered it ourselves. I did get a price from David Drown and Associates to do that. It's very expensive.
Okay.
A full search, start to finish, recruitment, advertisement, involvement in interviews, with a 1-year guarantee. If the person leaves or fails in 1 year, they would redo the search for us. That comes at a $27,000 price tag. They did offer a little bit of a la carte menu of other options of they could be involved in advertisement only or recruitment only. They come at different costs, but even those I feel are fairly high. Recruitment only would be $13,000 just to recruit candidates. But those, if there's interest in that tonight, I can make this available for everyone after the meeting.
Okay. Just an overall question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Any other questions for Reid on this topic or thoughts? Yeah, go ahead, Tammy.
Just wondering what the plan is. I mean, not like who is going to fill these duties in the meantime?
Yeah.
Does your office have a plan or?
Good question. The immediate thought process is I've been meeting with Mr. King. We've had a couple and need to have a couple of more meetings to understand the existing duties on his plate. And my hope and intent is to spread responsibility across other Park and Rec staff and then even some other city staff or city department heads. But all of that said, I will likely shoulder the load of it and then just delegate where I feel I can.
I would think getting activities running now, I mean, that's coming. That's a big, getting the pool running, getting the campground running. There's a lot of busy stuff coming.
Yeah, I don't know what Jeremy would say to it, but in my past experience, I think this next 3 months is probably the busiest of the job in the entire year.
Is there anything we can do to help with that? I mean, I don't know what that means. I'm busy, but I mean, I would help you. I mean, it's just a lot coming up. So.
Right. I think to Reid's point, we've had a couple conversations about it, and I've been working on a succession plan, and I feel like our staff is in a good position, at least on like the pool, hiring coordinators. Our summer activities have already closed, so getting all that stuff put together. Campground's already getting, the flood's slowing us down a little bit, but we're getting put into shape there. So I feel like a lot of this stuff will be figured out even in these next 6 days here. But we'll have a plan in place. And to Reid's point, that a lot of the day-to-day stuff, I'm hoping will be able to be handled internally, just more administrative stuff to fall onto Mr. Huttunen's plate. There shouldn't be a ton of RCAs or other requests coming through that department at this time. We're kind of caught up on a lot of that stuff.
And so these projects, like the civic and
these
the
projects will be well on their way, and then we've already
okay.
delegated a lot of that to the arena staff.
Okay, sounds good.
And the steering committee will have a portion of that as well, along with Mr. Huttunen.
No, that sounds good. I was just, please let us know if it's a lot extra on you too. And,
Yeah.
And I would like to be involved in the process, whatever that looks like. I think it's important for the council, be up to speed on this position for sure. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Tammy. We'll go to Mr. Riopel.
I think it's important that the Park and Rec Commission be involved in this because, again, we've been in, maybe 5 years now we've been running. And we've got some good people on there that are level-headed.
Good.
We've progressed through most of our other projects that we've been involved with, so I think we need to be involved in that.
Yeah, I would concur. I think, Reid, maybe give us a little bit of time to talk through the maybe a bit of a flow chart for the interview process after civil service. But certainly there's interest in being involved throughout the steps there. Okay. Any other questions or comments from the council on the position description or the proposed schedule? It's going to come fast. Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on to item number 6 then. Request to approve the hiring of Lacey Anderson as library director. Mr. Huttunen.
Okay, thank you again. I guess I'll start with, I think, offer our thanks and congratulations to the library board for their involvement and I think a really successful outcome here. They also asked me to extend and share their thanks to the city council and the library, friends of the library, the department heads, that one were able to come to the meet and greet that was held as part of the final interview process, and 2, to entrust in them the responsibility of selecting the library board or library director. Really pleased with that process. I think we had 4 really strong final candidates that all brought a little different skill set. But really, I don't know that there was a wrong decision for the library board to make. But all that said, excited that Miss Lacey Anderson has been offered and verbally accepted the position, contingent on city council approval next week. She has cleared all the background check work that was required, so it's now the last step is just council approval, and she's eager to get started as soon as she can after that approval comes. Reminder, Ms. Helgeson's official last day was last Friday. She's now kind of working in that part-time role to help us with the transition, and she's eager to get Lacey trained as well. So exciting news with that. And then while I have the mic, before I turn it back for questions, just reminder, this Friday, the library is celebrating its 25th anniversary from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you have any time during the day to get over to that, please make sure you do.
All right. Thanks, Reid. Any questions or comments from the council on the request to approve the hiring of Lacey Anderson? Mr.
Yeah,
Ellis?
I'd just like to make a comment there too. Reid covered it pretty well, but the library board did do an excellent job in getting this task done. It was, as Reid said, there was 4 very qualified candidates. Lacey was picked unanimously, so it was pretty. That was a good deal. So we had a first and a second, and we were so just hoping that she would accept. And she's a very outgoing, personal person. I think she's going to do a wonderful job in there. So we're pretty excited about getting her.
Okay, thanks, Dale. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all right. Okay, I believe that takes us to the end of our agenda for tonight. We'll be looking for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Riepel, second by Helms. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Motion passes and meeting is closed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.